Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the academic procession which is about to enter the hall. And please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem. You're encouraged to join in the singing. The text of the anthem is printed on page 2 of your graduation program.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty. Australia bear. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
I, Robert Murray Hill, Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, declare this congregation convened for the purposes of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, relatives, friends, and especially graduates, welcome to the University of Adelaide's graduation ceremony. I wish to acknowledge the Kaurna people, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains and the land on which the University of Adelaide's campuses at North Terrace, Waite, Theberton and Roseworthy are built. Graduates, your graduation is an event in which you and your family and friends can take great pride. It's also a source of pride and satisfaction for the University of Adelaide. Graduation Day is an opportunity for you to reflect both on the past and on the future. This may well be a very significant change in direction in your life. Whatever directions your life may take, the skills that you've acquired and developed here will stand you in good stead, not only in your working and professional life, but in life generally. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today's graduation orator, Professor John Abraham. John Abraham is a Professor of Mechanical Engineering at the University of Adelaide. He received his PhD in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering from Princeton University in the United States in 1986. His research and teaching interests encompass areas of transportation, energy, and the environment. His work has led to over 250 publications and 3 patents. Professor Abraham collaborates extensively with other engineers and scientists in industry and national laboratories and has consulted to several international companies. He's a Fellow of the Society of Automotive Engineers and has won the Lloyd L. Withrow Distinguished Speaker Award from the Society of Automotive Engineers and the Harry Solberg Best Teacher Award from the School of Mechanical Engineering at Purdue University in the United States. We're privileged to hear him speak today. Please welcome Professor John Abraham.
The Chancellor, the Honourable Robert Hill, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Warren Bebbington, and Executive Dean, Professor John Beenan, distinguished guests, members of staff, and especially graduates. It gives me great pleasure to congratulate you on this graduation day. It's not sunny and bright outside, but we are grateful that the rains are holding off. I hope you're filled with a sense of pride and joy in your accomplishment this morning, and also with great anticipation and exhilaration in what lies ahead in your life. I suspect that there may be some among you who have some ambivalence in the middle of the exhilaration of the day. And this, of course, is completely natural, because, as you will soon realize, if you have not already done so, there is never a point in our life when we can predict the future with certainty. Today, this special graduation day is no different, with the exception that the diploma you hold in your hand may land you a good job which fulfills your desires in the short term and hopefully sets you on a path to success in the long term. Long-term success is, however, elusive and depends on how well you equip yourself with the tools which allow you to confront the future, irrespective of what that future may bring. I know that your education here at the University of Adelaide has prepared you with some of these tools. But the greatest of these tools are the ones which allow you to continuously acquire new knowledge and fresh tools once you leave this great university. For you're going out into a world where the time scales associated with change are becoming ever shorter. As an example, just think about the iPad, iPad 1, iPad 2, all these things that we use have become so ubiquitous. The time scales associated with the turnaround of each one of these is actually becoming ever shorter. Or think of the phones you hold in your hand, how quickly they change in time. It is true that there are certain fundamentals that are never going to change. The solution of that differential equation, given a set of initial and boundary conditions, is not going to be different 10 years from today as it is, as you have studied. And the fundamental laws of statics, dynamics, and thermodynamics are not going to change 50 years from today. But how these fundamentals are brought together to bear upon the creation of new products, processes, and efficiencies will change. And your success will depend on your ability to adapt to that changing environment in a world that is fast changing and ever becoming smaller and flatter, in the words of Thomas Friedman, the well-known New York Times columnist and author. Within this context of rapid changes, I would like to share with you 4 related thoughts which may at first appear at odds with the ethos of this fast and furious world. Number 1, keep your sights on the long-term value of your short-term efforts. Some of you may remember the economic meltdown that much of the world went through in 2008, which resulted from people, corporations, industries, governments, all investing in short-term gains with no long-term value. Ask of what value is this in the long term before investing your time and energy in something. The further you can see, the better. What may appear at first to be attractive may not be so in the long term. Secondly, think big, dream big, do not fear taking bold steps. In a world where changes are occurring rapidly, the temptation to make incremental changes to what already exists is great. This is the safe path for a time. But this leads ultimately to failure and disappointment. Big ideas and big dreams can also lead to failure, but when they succeed, they can transcend time and set us on a transformative path in technology, providing solutions for the challenges we face in energy, climate change, health, infrastructure. Of course, even big ideas run their course, but they are transformative. So think big and dream big. Thirdly, become deep, critical, independent thinkers. Do not follow the crowd around you. Do not accept all ideas that come floating by. Put them to the test and then only accept them. You're graduating, but continue to read broadly, think critically, and do not shy away from critical discussions with those who may disagree with you. Finally, most importantly, remember that you're just one person in a world of over 7 billion people. On the one hand, this thought should make us very humble. On the other hand, please remember that this one person can make a difference to the lives of the 7 billion. one person's dream, one person's character, one person's humility, one person's deep respect for the diversity of people and life around us, and the sustainability of the environment does make a difference. Graduates, graduate, you are that one person. As you step out of those doors after you graduate, go out into the world and be that difference maker. Congratulations.
Good morning. On behalf of the graduates and their families attending this morning's ceremony, I would like to thank Professor John Abraham for this stimulating and inspiring address. We are honored that you have taken the time to join us on this special day and to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we can. Please join me in once again thanking Professor John Abraham.
Chancellor, in 2009, the university established the University Doctoral Research Medals. These medals are awarded to graduates who have completed outstanding research at doctoral level. This award is the premier award for doctoral candidates in the university. I, Professor Warren Bebbington, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, present to you the winners of the 2012 University Doctoral Research Medals. Justin Stephen Hardy. Justin for research in the field of mechanical engineering. For research in the field of electronic engineering, Ahmed Kavahe. Chancellor, every year the university presents university medals to acknowledge the most outstanding graduates in each faculty who have completed an undergraduate honours program or a bachelor program of at least 4 years duration. The university medals are awarded to them for their consistently outstanding performance across the whole of their undergraduate studies. I, Professor Warren Bebbington, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, present to you the winners of the 2012 University Medals from the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. Pasindu Disan Alutwala. Patrick Liam Johnson. And John Angus Taylor Mukan.
The Postgraduate Alumni University Medal was established in 2002 by the University of Adelaide's former Alumni Association to recognise and reward the outstanding achievements and extraordinary efforts of one of the newest graduates of the university. The nominees for the medal are postgraduate students of outstanding academic merit from each of the faculties. The winner of the medal is the student who is the most outstanding amongst these. The Postgraduate Alumni University medalist for 2013 is Dr. Omid Kavahay. Omid was conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences in 2012. His PhD was focused on designing, fabricating and experimentally verifying memorative devices and circuits in the field of microelectronics. Omid carried out his PhD with a glittering record, attracting over 5 scholarships and awards, including an Endeavour International Postgraduate Research Scholarship and a University of Adelaide Scholarship. In 2011, he was awarded the Young Nanotechnology Ambassador title in South Australia from the Australian Research Council Nanotechnology Network. Omid's academic output during his PhD was extraordinary, including 17 refereed publications in the toughest journals in the field. His more than 350 citations on Google Scholar obtained in such a short time places Omid well within the top 1% of PhD students internationally. Omid's impact in the field, both nationally and internationally, is outstanding, making him a deserving recipient of this year's Postgraduate Alumni University Medal. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Omid Kavahay.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees, and I call on the Vice-Chancellor.
Chancellor, I, Professor Warren Bebbington, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole University that the graduates who will be presented to you have fulfilled all the conditions prescribed for admission to the awards for which they are so presented.
I, Robert Murray Hill, Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the University, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented. I call on the Executive Dean of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences to present the graduates.
Chancellor, I, Professor John Bynan, present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Product Innovation Success in the Australian Defence Industry, an Exploratory Study, Gregor McGregor Ferguson. For a thesis entitled Laminar Flow Control of a Flat Plate Boundary Layer Using Dielectric Barrier Discharge Plasma, Brad Alexander Gibson. For a thesis entitled Experimental Investigation of High-Frequency Combustion Instability in Cryogenic Oxygen-Hydrogen Rocket Engines, Justin Stephen Hardy. For a thesis entitled Governance and Stewardship in the Aged Care Industry, Evaluating a Model for Corporate Social Entrepreneurship, the Relation of Board Culture to Entrepreneurial Behaviour, Lois Marjorie Hazelton. For a thesis entitled Throughout Management for CSMA CA Networks IEEE 802.11e Wireless LAN, Shafiqul Karim. for a thesis entitled Modeling and Control of Phase Advance Modulation for Small-Scale Wind Turbines, Mayor Nathan Pathmanathan. For a thesis entitled Development of Biocomposite Scaffolds and Injectable Biocement for Bone Regeneration, Fan Wu. And for a thesis entitled Examining the Interrelationships Among Entrepreneurial Self-Efficacy, Perceived Accessibility of Resources and Entrepreneurial Intentions in a Chinese Village Context, an Exploratory Study, Tingzhu. To the degree of Master of Engineering Aerospace, when they appear on the stage. To the degree of Master of Engineering Aerospace, Regis Asimwe. And Ryan Ross Linkness. To the degree of Master of Engineering Chemical, Bo Jiang. And Xiao Da Li. To the degree of Master of Engineering Electrical, Bing Han. Yi Li, I beg your pardon, Yu Hui Sun. That was for the degree of Master of Engineering Chemical and had been crossed out of my book. We're back on this course. To the degree of Master of Electrical Engineering, Bing Han. Also not present, Yili Phoenix Lau. Cheng Wang Yu. And Yan Li Zhang. To the degree of Master of Engineering Electronic, Li Jun Fan. And Xiao Hui Wang. To the degree of Master of Engineering Mechatronic, Ro Chi Bao. Yuan Yuan Bian. And Boyang Wang. To the degree of Master of Engineering Mechanical, Zheng Chen. Shun Gao. Zhuang He. Xiaolong Liu. Xin Liu. Hongfei Tan. Song Yao Tu. And Chen Wang. To the degree of Master of Engineering Science for a thesis entitled Robust Actuator Controller for Active Truss-Based Morphing Wing, Difan Tang. To the degree of Master of Philosophy for a thesis entitled Hypersonic Inlet for a Laser-Powered Propulsion System, Alan Harland. To the degree of Master of Applied Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Vishal Mukesh Jodani. Janelle Yvette McQueen Pace. Sebastian Schlasser. And Matthew Aaron Warren. To the degree of Master of Applied Project Management, David Atapuo Ayal. Yuan Yuan Dong. Brenda Joanne Lawler. Yu Chang Lau, Jack Mitchell, and Jing Zhu. To the degree of Master of Engineering Advanced, Kevin Balluri. Afshin Karami, Chen Song, Lisa Zhang, and Sinan Zhu. To the degree of Master of Engineering Advanced Mechatronics, Amir Asadabadi. To the degree of Master of Project Management, Matthew John Clark. Lavanya Gopalakrishna. And John Casaras. To the degree of Master of Sciences, Defense, Joanne Marie Luscombe. To the Graduate Certificate in Project Management, Olga Belokurova. To the Graduate Certificate in Science and Technology Commercialization, Glenn Bruce Wheatley. To the Graduate Certificate in Sciences Defense, Adrian Stewart Coulter. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, Raslin Abed Rashid. Mohammed Faiz Abdul Rahim. Saman Akdam. Nurisyan Ahmad Zaki. Craig Lindsay Astrop. Pasindu Disan Alithwala. Amanda Cheng Sing Sim. Kimberly Alice Anderson. Joshua Antonius Anijanto. Charles Anstey, and Charles also receives a Bachelor of Finance. Alan Bauman. Crystal Berry. Thomas Graham Billsborough. Michael Donald Peter Bolton. Lara Megan Bond. Adam Charles Bowering. John Paul Bradbury, who also receives a Bachelor of Science Biotechnology. Lachlan Charles Brazel. Daniel Charles Brown. Ron Kyle Brunton. Ashley Robert Chadwick. Carolyn Chow Pei Chai. Bernadette Awa Chan. Matthew Ray Hon Chan, who also receives a Bachelor of Economics. James Kenyon Chataway. Nicholas Peng Hao Ching. Joanna Ann Teng Chow. Carmine Justin Colea. Jordan Andrew Colmer. James Jarvie Connor. Michael Leonard Corina. Peter James Damon. Matthew George Dawson. Lewin Scott Day. Justin de Blasio. Luke Demetrio. Christopher Philip Dugard. Samantha Cristobal Mato do Rosario Alba. Tien Tan Do. Flora Geladini. Cameron James Edwards. Thomas Luke Eglinton. Luke Ferranda. Shu Ying Feng. Christopher John Ferdinands. Leah Nicole Fitzgerald. Jesse David Frost. Damien Lewis Fry. Hamish William Gamble, who also receives a Bachelor of Economics. Sakshan Garg. Robin Glynn Garvey. Joseph Frank Giovinazzo, who also receives a Bachelor of Finance. James Middleton Griggs. Lily Ailey Guo, who also receives a Bachelor of Science. Rosemary Claire Hallam. James Maxwell Hardy. Joshua Robert Harley Hill. Yusak Hartanto. Samuel James Hatwell, who also receives a Bachelor of Economics. Daniel Jonathan Headland. David Callum Heath. Daniel Hugh, who also receives a Bachelor of Finance. John Patrick Hickin. Edward James Higginson. Vijay James Hillier. Bradley James Hocking. David James Holland. Yi-Ching Hu. Ivan Ivanov. Jovan Jacob Koshi. Andrew Janitsky. Scott Edward Jenkin. Miroslav Jeric. Wen Pai Jiang. Joshil Johari Jogannathan. Nicholas Athanasius Kalatsis, who also receives a Bachelor of Science Biotechnology. Nanda Kishore Kasuba. Simon Craig Keane. Nicholas James Kennedy. Paul Michael Kinlow. Daniel Gary Kotz. Karthikeya Kupa. Ho Chia Christopher Lam. Frank Marcus Langone. Alex James Laratro. Daniel Jiming Lee, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Zhe Sean Lee. Yin Chu Lee. Clinton Nero Leonardis, who also receives a Bachelor of Finance. Yinan Lee. Zifei Lee. Raymond Singet Lu. Huang Ta Lim. Jin Han Lim. Di Yi Lin. Tony Loy, who also receives a Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Hua Ma. Brian Allen Maddox. Thomas John Leonard Marnie. John Adam Marshall. Alexander Rutland Martin, who also receives a Bachelor of Science. Nicola Jane Machulik. Daniel John Meller, who also receives a Bachelor of Economics. Zhao Shi Ming. Alex Miranda. Andrew Paul Micken, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Aaron Malcolm Miller, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. John Angus Taylor Mucken. Nurul Nabila Muhammad Kamal. Kinshuk Nandi. Junlin Chi Hung Wong. Nyok Hung Nguyen. Tony Robert Nile. Nick Nur Fatia Nick Ghazali. Joshua Keith Northeast. Paul Mark Nussio. Karen Mary Obst. Zilin O, who also receives a Bachelor of Economics. James Scott Olafson. Samuel Lachlan Oliver. Alana Jade Overmeyer. Robert John Palotta. Ethan Parser. Cameron John Parsons. Samuel Edward McCallum Paul. Fan Ping. Rick Zong Yang Porteus, who also receives a Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Ashley Elizabeth Prest. Ryan David Quarrington. Nachiket Sanjay Raje. Osama Rana. Regina Wong Pei-yu. Stephen Michael Robb, who also receives a Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Craig Anthony Rowbottom. Thomas Roundtree. Ashraf Salah. Isaac Jacob Saridakis, who also receives a Bachelor of Science. Tyler James Shenbury. Benjamin David Schultz. Bartholomew James Shikitano. Nathan John Scott. Trent Elliott Forsina. Onkit Stanley Sin. Henry Peter Spry. Michael Stanek. Jay Stevens. Thomas Brian Stratfold. Yanfei Sun. Paul Michael Swinser. Munyun Tan, who also receives a Bachelor of Finance. Peng Yi Tan. Wee Tat Tan. Vin Tan Tan. Daniel Tai. Daniel James Thomas. Mark Thompson. Jia Ziong Thong. Peter William Thorley. Lloyd Tong. Liam Neil Tottel. Stephanie Kate Tister. Stephanie also receives a Bachelor of Finance. Nicholas John van Ruth. Nathan Mark Villarosa. Fiona Rose Wademan, who also receives a Bachelor of Science Biotechnology. Ching Wan. Jane Wang. Scott James Waring Smith. Timothy James Welling. Clinton Robert Welke. Andrew Vaughan Wheatland. David Michael Whitman. Mark Edward Wigg. Frances Elizabeth Williams. Philippa Grace Williams, who also receives a Diploma in Languages. Melissa Wei Lee Wong. Sean Julian Anthony Wong. Wei Shern Wong. Jane Yu Yang. Lee Jin Kenneth Yo. Megat Mohammed Haswan Zamia Zairi. Zhang Min Jue. Zhao Fei. Chen Zhongzhu. And Lukman bin Zulkifli. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours and Bachelor of Arts, Benjamin John Murphy. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Brett William Bowie. Mohammed Ezat Farid bin Hassan. Christine Elizabeth Head. Joshua Troy Hopper, who also receives a Bachelor of Science. Chen Jia. Su Jin. David Zane Johnston. Guangxi Liu. Joshua Desmond Logan. Mohammed Afifi Shakir bin Mahmoud Sabri. James Reese Gordon Martin. Jenny T. Tan Van Huynh, who also receives a Bachelor of Science. Mark William Ogilvie. Brandon John Power. Sean David Robson. Amelia Tess Simpson. Satyam Solanki. Teng Sun. Thomas Patrick White. Jacob Mark Wisdom. Yu Sing Wu. Salzaran bin Zulkifli. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Bryce Alexander Allen. To the degree of Bachelor of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Blake Jonathan Glynn Davis. And Vanessa Mary Picker.
In concluding the ceremony, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the mace bearer, the musicians and all staff and student volunteers who assisted in the organisation and running of the ceremony. I invite you all to light refreshments in the Eclipse function room on level 4 of the Union building on the lower level of the campus. There's signage to direct you to the Union building and also to Hub Central, where photographers, framing and other merchandise will be available. I have great pleasure in congratulating all the new graduates here today. As graduates of the University of Adelaide, you are also its alumni and ambassadors for the university. Over the years since the University of Adelaide was established, its alumni have made an enormous contribution to the community, both here and throughout the world. You have a stake in this great institution because the qualifications it has given you and your experience, active participation, development are very important to its continuing reputation and strength. I invite you to stay in contact with us via the online community, Adelaide Online, and you'll receive login details and a membership card over the next month. I now ask that the new graduates remain seated and the audience to stand and join with me in congratulating the graduates on their achievements. The audience remains standing and the graduates now please stand for the academic procession followed by the VIP guests and graduates, and I now declare this congregation to be adjourned.